Greetings everyone. First of all, thanks for being in my YouTube channel. Today I'm gonna describe you an incident that was took around 8 to 900 years ago, and this will really change your perception about trust on others. This will really motivate you, and this will have a great impact on your thoughts of about trust on others. Well, the incident starts like there was a man who there was a shepherd who has goats with him, and he starts grazing those goats, and by mistake he enters in one of the farms which doesn't belongs to him. So the owner of the owner of the farm sees that the man entered with his goats. So in order to move the goats out from the farm, he picks up some stones, and he hits those goats, but accidentally the stone falls on the man and eventually he dies. So the person dies, and now the owner was a killer, but that was an accident. However, the man dies, and this man has two children. Now the children goes to the ruler or the caliph, and describes everything and describe what all has happened with them. And the children expects that the killer has to be hanged out, because there is an Islamic Sharia that if a person kills the other person, even if he doesn't have the intention to kill him, even if that happens by accident, he has to be killed. The killer has to be hanged in front of all the human beings, such that this would give a lesson to all the people that killing an innocent is a very big crime. So and it is also mentioned in the Quran that if you kill a single person, it is as though you have killed the whole of the humanity, and if you save an individual, it is as though you have saved the whole of the humanity. So coming to the story, as the children expects the killer to be hanged, they describe all story with the caliph. And here comes the twist part, that is the killer is a stranger to all of them, to the caliph, to children, and to all the people who are surrounded there. And the killer requests that he too have a family, and he has to go to his home, and he seeks permission from the caliph that okay, I'm ready to be hanged out for my as my punishment, but I request you to give me 2 or 3 days of leave, and I will return by the evening of the third day. He tells that he will return by the evening of the third day, but here the question arises that if the stranger or the killer if the killer doesn't come by the evening of the third day, then what would be the situation? Then the killer can live his life happily, but according to Sharia, he has to be killed. So here the question arises that he has to be released, or he has to be hanged at that time, at that instant, or at that instant. Now the stranger asks from the crowd that I expect any one of you to be trust me, such that if such that if I cannot come by the evening of the third day, someone should take my responsibility. Someone should give me an oath that he can take his replacement. In one word, he was expecting someone to trust him in such a way that he can move to his family. And he can come by the evening of the third day. And interestingly, a man stands up for him. He tells that, okay, I'm gonna take the responsibility of the stranger. I will be responsible if he doesn't come by the evening of the third day, and it is okay for me if you hang me up instead of him, in place of him. So this pious man, this good man, takes the trust on him, and he sets him free to go to his family. And eventually the third day has come, and it was almost around the start of the evening, and people and everyone looks for the stranger and expects that they were very curious whether the killer or the stranger will come or not, because if he come, he would be hanged, and if he doesn't come, the man has to be hanged. The man who has trusted him, this man has to be hanged. And if that happens, then the concept of trusting the strangers will disrupt. This will destroy the whole concept of trust. So by the end of the evening of the third day, the stranger comes, and the stranger says that and the stranger comes. People and the Caliph tells that it was a good opportunity for you to run away from being hanged. What made you to come here? Well, the stranger says that if I doesn't come here by the end of the evening, that would be a great loss for the man who trusted on me. And if that happens, none of the people will come up, will stand for trusting the others. This would definitely disrupt the concept of trust, and this made me to come by the end of the third day. And the stranger explains in this way, and the Caliph turns to this man and asks, what made you to trust the unknown person? Because he has not seen him in his entire life. This is the first time he is seeing the stranger. So the Caliph tells that, what made you to trust the stranger? The man tells that, I doesn't trust him. I trusted him just for Allah's sake, just for Allah's sake. That if I doesn't trust him, people will have a concept that the community of those people doesn't have the concept of trusting each other. So that made me to trust the man. He explains in this way, and the Caliph turns to those children and asks those children, so do you want to hang the stranger even now? Then the children tells that, okay, we doesn't want him to be hanged now, because he has made that mistake, and it was an accident that happened. So the children doesn't allow the Caliph to hang him. and this would really this played a really great incident. This was a really great incident in those people, for those people who doesn't trust on the others. Yeah, we live in a world that people sell plastic in the name of rice, but it doesn't mean that one should not trust the other. One has to trust other. Yeah. Lastly, I would like to end up with a quote that learn as if it's the first day, and live as if it's the last day. Well, the explanation for this is as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, learn from your birth to your death, and offer your prayers as if it's the last prayer. Thanks for being in my YouTube channel. Please like the video, please like the video, subscribe and share. Thank you. Jazakallahu khair.